Wait, where are you from?
So I grew up in that town, Framingham.
I know where is that.
And then I went to BU, as I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And then a month after graduating with a business degree.
22. You actually went 4 years.
I did the 4 years, got the degree, made my parents happy, and I said, I need to go do comedy. And they're like, we're not going to stop you. It's in your blood. We support you, you know. And I had two younger brothers that were home still, so they were good. And I just came out by myself, lived at Maxine's house, and just started going to open mics and looking at Dramalog.
Did you Dramalog? This is our Bible. But wait, did you do comedy in Boston, right?
I played around. I did some lip sync contests that I won. I did some comedy. My first time ever on stage, they had a comedy hour at lunchtime at Boston University. It was produced by a young entrepreneur in Boston who was like 23 years old, and he was producing this comedy show. His name was Barry Katz.
Jesus Christ, you really are.
Okay, so I'm on the wrestling team, and we're all in front heckling the comics, right? And
probably being better.
So this comic that's still around in Boston, Chance Langton. You know Chance Langton?
I know the name. Heard of that name.
Legend back east. And he had a guitar, and he did impressions. And that week, in '84, We Are the World debuted on MTV, and it was running all day. And me and my friends were watching that and getting a kick out of it and starting to do impressions of it, you know. And so he was doing these music impressions. He goes, any request? And I was just being a wise ass. I said, yeah, do We Are the World. Just came out, you know. And he's like, everyone laughed, you know. And he goes, but it was 400 students in this huge GSU, the student union.
So there was a
free comedy show at lunch.
I've done those. Yeah, so he was the comic that day.
He was the comic that day.
Yeah, I got him.
And he goes, I'll play We Are the World if you come up here and sing it. Right? Okay. Talk about being pushed on stage. The wrestlers picked up my chair and put it on the stage. They put me on stage. I had no choice.
Okay.
So I could like run or turn around and face the crowd.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh! And then he just starts strumming. And then I just started doing impressions. Like, I don't even know how I did Stevie Wonder. I did Springsteen. I did Ray Charles, you know. And standing ovation.
No!
First time ever on stage, standing ovation. And this guy, Barry Katz, he will corroborate every detail of this story. Barry Katz comes up to me afterwards. He's like, that was incredible. You need to come do this at the clubs. How old are you? Right. And so we started talking, and basically I went to Chance Langton shows at clubs in Boston. I was underage, and I got all the popcorn and Cokes that I could eat, and then he would do the same. I learned quick how show business is fixed.
So he then that thing became a bit.
That became a bit. And
so Chance, did he pay you?
No.
So he let you come up, and you were a plant.
And I did. Yeah, that was a plant.
Wow.
That's how I got into the business.
So you were what? In college?
We are the world.
Yeah.
We are the children.
Yeah. So you were what, 2019?
Make a better life, so let's start giving. Yeah.
Wow.
It was crazy. And I was
what club? What Boston Comedy Club?
Stitches. I went to Play It Again Sam's. And I did it at Stitches, which was next to the Paradise, the music club. And then one other. I think there was 2 or 3 shows. And then I just kind of moved on, and then until I got close to graduation, and I was like, I'm really going to do this, you know?
Yeah.
I put together a lip sync act with this cute girl. I wrote like an act where we did like Paradise by Dashboard Light and Don't Go Breaking My Heart, and it was like a little medley. I wrote a medley thing, and we were winning every lip sync contest. That was like the big thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
In the 80s, lip sync contest.
Yeah.
$1,000.
Yeah.
Kiss FM.
Yeah.
And so we were winning that. I was like my side gig, winning lip sync contests.
So you were doing this for a couple years.
Doing that through college. I was on the wrestling team. I was watching Letterman every night, and all through college. Matter of fact, me and the wrestlers that I live with, one guy came in and said, I got 4 tickets for Letterman's first anniversary show tonight in New York. Who's in? And we're like, how are we going to get there? We'll rent a car.
Yeah.
$5 each. We cut classes. We rent a car. We drive to Radio City in New York, wait in line, and we are in for the Letterman's anniversary show. It was insane. It was epic, and you're not going to believe what happened.
I can only imagine.
I went to John Witherspoon's life celebration because I worked on Wayans Brothers.
Yeah.
So I was invited to the celebration of John Witherspoon's life.
Yes.
About 3 years ago.
Yes.
And we're at this big thing at the Forest Lawn, and who's standing in the front row? David Letterman. I've never met him in my life. Came close to getting the show, but ended up doing Leno, and you know how that was.
Yeah.
Tom Dreesen's next to him, who I know, and a couple of the comics. So they said, all the comics come down, we take a picture on the stage, right? So it's everyone, from me to Letterman is going to like head up stage. So as I'm coming down, I look in the stairwell, and I see a couple comedians I know. And one of them's like, hey, Bruce, come on over. So I come in to the hallway, like a little hallway, and it's Letterman, and it's Jan Karam, and Sam Quasman, and Altman, Jeff Altman, who I used to do gigs with him when I first started. He's like, hey, Bruce, how are you? So I'm talking to all, and so one person, I think it was Jan, God bless her, she's like, Dave, let me get a picture. Right? And I'm thinking like he's gonna freeze everybody out.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, come on, sure. He's like a new relaxed Letterman now, right? So Sam takes her phone and she takes a selfie with him. So then Sam goes, let me get one. No problem. Boom. So I'm standing there, I go, okay, let me get one. So as I'm walking over to Letterman, I said, I got a great Letterman story for you.
To Letterman?
Yeah.
I got a great you story about you. Okay.
I got a great Letterman story for you. So it was like magical. So they got their picture.
Yeah.
They cleared out. It's me and Letterman.
Wow. And he gave you the time.
And all the other comics, and Jeff Altman saying hello. So he knows, okay, I either should know this guy or he's one of these, he's a comic. So,
but Jeff did know you.
Yeah. No, what I'm saying is Letterman's seeing that his buddy Jeff.
Oh,
and
should
Janet,
know him. Okay. Yeah,
so
yeah.
whether he.
You were co-signed.
Yeah, I was co-signed.
Yeah.
So I basically, I said, Dave, 1984, first anniversary show. I'm a freshman at BU. I told him the whole story. We rented a car, cut class, got there in 2.5 hours, wait in line. And I said, do you remember the band? You had Ashford and Simpson singing backup. You had Billy Joel with Paul Schaefer on the keyboards, Tom Scott on the horns. I was going through the whole thing, and he was looking at me like reliving it. Like, because he did it, right?
Yeah.
And now he's like, he's seeing it from my perspective.
Yeah.
From the person that was actually out there that he was doing it for.
Yeah.
And as I'm seeing it, he's getting misty-eyed. Letterman. And he grabs my arm, and I told him the story, and I said, Dave, I said, I'm 50 years old, and I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. And he looked at me, and he grabbed my arm. He goes, that was really neat. Thanks for sharing that with me. And I felt like I came full circle in that moment. It was like, wow. Like, Letterman was every night for 7 years of my life. That inspired me to be a sarcastic comedian. So it was like, okay, Seinfeld, boom, right? Right? Letterman, boom. The other one was Eddie Murphy, who I thought I'd never meet. And then there I was at Chocolate Sunday performing with Chris Spencer at the Laugh Factory, and all of a sudden I'm doing my jokes, and all of a sudden I hear, and I see out of the corner of my eye that Eddie Murphy's in that corner seat, and he's watching my set.
What year was that?
90s. Yeah.
He didn't go up.
No, he just came to check out the comics. So I was like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. The only one I haven't met is Bruce Springsteen.
I feel like after this pod.
But I know his chiropractor, and so do you.
Is he his chiropractor?
Dr. Dean has adjusted the boss.
He has?
Oh, it's part of his legend. Absolutely.
Wow.
Ask him about it. You'll get an 1.5 hour story.
Dude, hold on.
Because he has multiple stories. Okay.
Isn't it like
Can
Boston to me?
Can you tell I prepared for the show?
Yes. I'm honored.
I've done 4 out of the 10 things I've listed.
Really?
Yeah. I wanted to tell you about how.
Keep going.
Okay, so
I'll shut up.
You know how different the industry is now. I mean, it's almost disappointing.
What industry?
Right. There you go. Right. So.
Explain that to people though, how it's so different.
Okay, so Jamie Kennedy and I, no, seriously, I came up to you in '92, and I said, "Hey, Jamie, I think you're funny, man. I'd love to have you on this showcase we're gonna do." And you're like, oh, what is it? And I'm like, you're much nicer than that. I'm just making you seem gruff. And you're like, I was like, dude, me and Marvin and Bill Torres and the four of us, it's going to be called A Few Good Men. Because the movie was A Few Good Men. It was a big hit with Nicholson. And you can't handle the truth. Okay. So we had this poster and we put it up everywhere. And we called the agents and the casting and all that. And our agents called. And we packed the upstairs. Because we wanted to do a set where it was just like four of us, where the focus was on, we're looking for, agents and we're looking to do TV. And so we set up our own showcase, right? And they...
So it's at the top
yeah.
of the Improv, for everyone knowing, on 3rd Street?
Melrose.
Oh, it was Melrose. Okay, okay.
Yeah, it was Melrose, but we didn't get the main stage.
But they had a top room, which no one can understand.
Right, it was new. It was new. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. We can do our own showcase up there. And Sally Schaub, for you comedy aficionados, was managing. Was she managing you too?
No, but Sally was so great.
She was so sweet. She was a huge comedy fan. I mean, she rode a bike around. Like, she was just like a really unique character and very sweet lady. She loved comedy and she wanted to help us. So we did this. She managed, I think, some of the other guys, and we did this showcase. And I'm not for sure, but I'm pretty sure that you might have gotten like APA or KDB from like that started. Something. People saw you that night, and they started to go, "Hey, this guy."
Yeah, I definitely got some love off of that show.
You got some love off of that show.
Yes.
And then, so we would put together our showcases, and people come out and see us, and then all of a sudden, casting directors knew us, and network people knew us, and all this stuff. And I don't know if they even do that. Now it's like, what's their Instagram? Let me see how many followers they have.
We were the original self-produced show, but you were already killing it.
No, I mean, listen, we were hustling. It was a constant hustle.
But it was always a hustle. And so we were like, because you would have to put your name in the hat on the Monday, and then you get assigned a spot on like a Monday or 2 Mondays from now.
Store, right.
And so that's when I got fired from Mrs. Gooch's, because I was working there during the day.
Don't tell me Coldwater.
No, Beverly Hills.
Okay.
And I said, I have a spot tonight at the Improv. They go, you're a comic? I go, well, I'm aspiring, but I have to make my spot. They go, it's open a mic spot for 3 minutes. And I go, yeah, but Bud Friedman's going to be there. And they go, but it's open mic. This is a job. And they said, if you go, you lose your job. And I said, then I guess I lost my job.
Same
exactly.
Jamie, I left to go to an audition. I told one other person that worked, I said, I'll be back before the shift even starts. And then someone, and it's always a manager that.
Middle manager that wanted to be something, and they sold out their soul for the job or gave up, and they do not like or appreciate the fact that other people have dreams. Yes,
so
it's true.
And it's chasing them, and aren't giving up yet, right?
That's true.
So, in Hollywood, if you stay with it, you just die of hope. And natural causes? No, he died of hope. There was another series right around the corner,
It's so true. Right? It's Harrison Ford says if you stay in the game, though, something will happen. I believe that if you're there long enough, because they just you can't kill this person.
Another thing I thought about to share with you, and I was going to share it near the end, but I'll share it right now.
Go for it.
Is people ask for advice all the time to people that have been in the business, and this is not just showbiz advice, but this is life advice. And I know you've heard this. You can lose the game, but don't lose the lesson. But I think that's everything now. I think you can lose the job, the audition, the callback, the pickup, but don't lose you can lose the relationship, Jamie, with a woman. But don't lose the lesson. Like, if you learned about toxic, narcissistic behavior, don't lose that lesson. You see red flags early next time, don't do that again. If you had a bad situation with a business, you can lose that money, but don't lose the lesson. So you don't keep repeating the mistakes. Because the people that learn from the mistakes is the difference between the people that become successful in life, in their business, in their relationships, and the people that keep repeating their mistakes. We could look at people that have repeated their mistakes and they're not going anywhere. We all have that in life. So that's something that, as I get older now, I've had so many lessons that I'm not going to lose those lessons. Like, I'm not going to lose that info. And I love that you have all this up here, because one of my good friends over the years, Dwayne Martin, and great guy.
Love Dwayne.
Dwayne is so great.
Scream 2 shout out.
There you go, right? Scream 2 shout out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you're Kevin Bacon, not me. I don't know. The new Kevin Bacon.
I have some bacon
For sure.
connections.
You absolutely do. And Dwayne came to my house for a business meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And in my office, like you, I have sort of a corner where it's like my stuff.
Your achievements. We all do.
Right.
It's our little, like, memorabilia.
And Dwayne said, I love that you have this and don't ever, not have this. He goes, because you need to remember your wins. Remember your wins. Because, it gets hard and there's struggles and stuff, but you really because you got to remember, oh, you did that. I did that. Because you can do it again.
Yeah.
He said, remember your wins. I love that.
That's
So,
brilliant.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's so different now, like what you were saying. I mean, and you have such insight. I mean, really, seriously, dude, you're incredible. But the business is just what you just said. It's so not like, think about it, just people coming out to clubs. I tell people this, like, if I do a show, if I'm at the club, I'll do 2 shows in a night, right? On like the club during the week. When we were coming up, guys like names weren't doing the shows. It was the newer comics. It was a place for newer comics to grow. Mm-hmm. And now
the improv.
Yeah, and the factory.
Yeah.
And the factory.
Oh yeah.
It was like there was a new face night. There was a development spot. Mm-hmm. And I feel like now that's just different.
New Faces was Tuesday night at the Santa Monica Improv.
100%. And they wanted to
Were you ever on that?
Yeah,
I thought so.
Yeah.
Gene Pompa.
Of course.
Sherry Shepard.
Mm-hmm.
Guy named Peter Sears that went on to write for The Tonight Show for many years. A young John Ridley.
Wow, yeah.
And
amazing.
I think he had gotten Martin.
Yeah, he also wrote Three Kings.
And then he ended up writing films.
Yeah.
Three Kings. Mm-hmm. And great dude. And then...
he had that great joke. Here's one of his jokes I remember.
Okay.
Everyone talks about dolphin safe tuna. But what about tuna safe tuna? That just kills me. I remember that. What the tuna don't have feelings?
Yeah, that tuna can get caught. Yeah, that's hilarious. I know you don't like writing jokes. You like...
No.
Still? Do you still like...
No,
you
here's
don't love
the thing. Here's the issue.
You're a natural performer and actor. You are a performer. You're not... I get it. No, I am... You're great.
You're
and the
too
pranks...
kind.
No.
I am like...
By the way, my sons... I'm sorry. I keep cutting off the host.
He's good. I talk too much.
My sons are 19 and 16.
Yeah.
And I showed them when you do the judge and some of the stuff, and they're laughing their asses off. It's timeless comedy. And by the way, this generation loves pranks.
Yeah.
They love pranks. Like, you could literally bring Jamie Kennedy Experiment back.
I want to.
But,
I'll be canceled.
No, if you did it your way, it would be a hit.
I think the audience will like it. It's just a matter of getting these gatekeepers to distribute it.
Jamie on the Capitol steps with a couple of friends, that kind of stuff. It would be great.
It's true, but the Capitol. But wait, you just said something that was.
I'm sorry. So you were.
Jokes. Here's the thing. There's two. Like, to me, I think about this, bro, and you tell me. I always comedy is so different now. First of all, it was how can I say this? It was almost the asshole of art form.
It was
where you failed at everything else and you go, I'll do this.
Yeah, it was like the class clown guy that wasn't going to do anything else.
Yes. Yeah. The greatest voices in art come out of it. Mm-hmm. But at the time, it wasn't, Eddie Murphy, I would consider our first real sexy rock star. I mean, Steve Martin was a sexy rock star too. So those are the first two to do it and arenafy it, and then we went from Dice and Dane and everybody. But so you have that. But it was archetypes. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're an archetype. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was the goofy guy. Yeah. No. I fucking Carlos Mencia was the angry Mexican. Yeah. You had the fat lesbian. You had the angry black guy. Mm-hmm. And now everyone had a hook. And now it's just like there are so many people doing comedy. And I tell people, the cute young ingenue in comedy when I started was me. That was it wasn't it was a freak show.
I felt like Harlan Williams also. Like you
Yes,
and
Harlan, totally.
like you didn't know what was going to happen when you guys hit the stage. That's why I kind of like, it was like, I got to see what's going to happen here. Because sometimes you would go right into your stuff, and sometimes you'd mess with the crowd, and sometimes, you weren't going up structured.
No.
You didn't want to be. That wasn't your style.
That's a very nice compliment, and Harlan is one of the
You guys
greatest.